So 5 costly mistakes that will completely destroy your credit score. Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. First things first guys, if you are new to this channel, on this channel we talk about personal finance, stocks, entrepreneurship, money, and everything else in between, okay? None of the political stuff in this channel, okay? So ignore all the bullcrap that's out there. So if you want to learn how to invest and build your wealth and all of that great stuff, well then you come to the right channel, right guys? But without wasting any more of your valuable time guys, let's begin with the video. So listen, I will say this from time and time again guys, that building your credit score is probably about the second, if not almost the first important thing that you can build up in your entire lives, okay? Simply because if you do not have a credit score built up whatsoever guys, it is going to be really hard to purchase that dream house or that dream car that you really wanted unless you have all the cash in hand at once, okay? Which for the majority of people, we know that's not possible, okay? But for 90% of this country guys, we need to build up this credit score in order to finance the things that we really want, okay? Plus it gives you the highest chance of getting lower APRs, okay? Because you do not want to get out a car and pay 15% APR on a car. No, don't do something like that, okay? And if you don't have a solid credit score foundation built up, well, that's exactly what you're looking forward to, okay? Now see, the thing about a credit score guys is that once you fully understand how a credit score works and how the system functions and whatnot, it's really easy to start building it up and using it to your advantage. Now, the problem with that is that while it's so easy to manage, it's also very easy to, let things slip by. So on this video, I'm going to go over on the 5 major things that will completely ruin your credit score if you do not be careful with them, okay? So number 1, and by far the most probably important and crucial thing that you can do that will impact your credit score in a negative way guys, is by either being late or missing a payment, okay? Because in case you didn't know, your payment history and how you make your payments on time make up about 35% of your overall credit score, okay? So even if you just miss one single payment guys, if you're late on just one payment, it could be the difference in you getting the dream house that you really wanted or being completely declined from ever purchasing it in your life. Because banks guys take this shit so serious, okay? They want to know that when they lend you money, that they are able to trust you and be responsible with paying it back on time, okay? Banks don't play with that type of shit. So if you're not responsible with paying back your debt on time, well, you can kiss anything you want in life goodbye, okay? Plus, if you make just one simple bad payment and never make a bad payment again, that one payment will stay on your credit history for at the minimum of at least 7 years. So banks can look at that whenever you try to finance something and be like, well, you made that one payment from 5 years ago. Why should we even bother trusting you even though you built up a solid history now afterwards, right? Just that one payment can ruin you from getting anything, okay? So it's important to never miss a payment whatsoever. And if it helps guys, listen, you need to start putting your bills on auto pay, okay? We're humans, which means we make mistakes. We're bound to miss maybe one payment if anything. Me personally, I've never missed a payment, but for the majority of everyone else, I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of people who have missed a payment at least once in their lifetime. So putting your bills on auto pay will help this extremely well. And if you have credit card debt and max it out and you can't afford to pay the full amount in time, well, even just paying the minimum on that credit card will help as well too, okay guys? Regardless of what the interest is, as long as you make the minimum payment, it's better than not making a payment at all, okay? So be sure to pay your credit cards in full and on time, okay? Now the number 2 mistake that can drastically ruin your credit score guys is maxing out your credit cards. 30% of your credit score is broken down by your credit utilization. And if some of you don't know what that means, it basically means that it's the credit that you have available versus the credit that you are using, okay? So the more credit that you are using, the more riskier you seem to lenders, okay? Because statistically guys, this will look like you can't afford to pay it back if you max out your credit cards, okay? So if you max out a $10,000 limit credit card, those banks are gonna be like, I don't know if we can trust this guy in paying it back. So that's gonna damage your credit score a bit. Remember, banks like it when you pay back their money. So if they see that you can't afford to pay it back, they're not gonna like that, okay? So the easiest way to avoid doing this guys is to use only 30% of your available credit in total, okay? So what this basically means is that for every $1,000 that you have of credit available to you, let's say you have $1,000, use only 30% of it so that it stays within the system's range, okay? So if you have $1,000 credit limit, then you can only use at least $300. But if you have $2,000 of credit limit available, then you can use $600. And bit by bit, as you gain every $1,000, you can start using a bit more. And this will keep you under the radar and in good standards. Now, let's say you have to make a huge purchase regardless of what happens. Let's say an emergency comes up and you have to max out your credit card. Well, if you do, guys, make sure that you are able to pay it off ASAP, okay? That way it does not stay on your credit history whatsoever and you can avoid your credit score going down, okay? But that's only if you have to max out your credit card. Now, another thing that you can do is have multiple lines of credit also, which will actually boost up your credit utilization. So if you only have one credit card with $1,000, then maybe applying for another 4 credit cards with $1,000 will actually help you as well too, okay? Which leads me to number 3, guys. Opening lines of credit too quickly will damage your credit score as well. And this is applying for multiple credit cards, home loans, car loans, all within the same time period, which I really hope none of you are doing, okay? Please do not open this many type of loans at once, because each time you apply for one of these loans, guys, this is what's called a hard inquiry. And each time this happens, it will affect your credit score for at least up to 6 months, okay? Now, let's take, for example, if you applied for multiple credit cards. Here's the weird part about this, guys, is that even though in the short term, this will hurt your credit score, opening multiple lines of credit cards, in the long run, this will actually help you because you're boosting up your credit utilization, okay? It's weird, but if you're able to just take the hit in the short term and actually play it out in the long run with these credit cards, it will actually help you down the road because now you have multiple lines of credit available to you, assuming you're not maxing none of these credits out all the way, okay? Now, if you do plan on making a huge purchase, whether it be a house or a car loan, then it might just be a safe bet to not open any new lines of credit whatsoever within the next year or so, okay? Because knowing that your credit score will be affected in the next few months if you do apply for multiple lines of credit is not a great idea when you plan on purchasing a house, because that can make the hugest difference in whether you're getting a house or being completely declined for a house, okay? But if you're not planning on making any huge purchases, well, then it might not be such a bad thing to open multiple lines of credit, okay? Mainly credit cards. I'm not saying go get out multiple car loans or multiple home loans, okay? Just credit cards. Now, the number 4 mistake that will ruin your credit score, guys, and I almost made this mistake, guys, okay? I almost made this back then when I only had one credit card. And this was when I was planning on getting another credit card, and that's closing the first credit card, okay? Listen, guys, the average length of your credit history makes up to 15% of your credit score, okay? So when you cancel some of your oldest cards, you are also canceling the average age of your credit history, okay? And it's weird how the FICO system works and whatnot, but the older you have credit available to you, meaning by years and whatnot, the better it actually looks on you, because if you've been paying that credit card on time and whatnot, or even if you don't use it, it also shows that you are not needing that money, which means that banks like this because it shows to them that you're able to prove to them that you don't need the money, so they will actually want to offer you more money to borrow. It's kind of a weird thing, right? So keep your oldest line of credit cards open, guys, okay? So if you have a credit card that you've had for the past 20 years and you're not using it, don't cancel it, okay? Just keep it open. Assuming there's no yearly fee or anything, keep it open. Let it actually build up your credit score year after year. And this is a mistake that I almost made, because I almost wanted to cancel my first credit card because I thought you had to, thought I can get a different credit card. And I'm so glad I didn't, because that first credit card has been open since like 2012, I think. So I am glad I did not cancel that, because I'm pretty sure that would have devastated my credit score pretty drastically if I did close that credit card out. Now, the last and 5th final mistake that you need to completely avoid in order to not damage your credit score, guys, is not having any type of credit whatsoever, guys. Listen, man, I get that some of you have the cash in order to pay certain things, okay? And if you have the money to pay it, it almost makes no sense to have any credit whatsoever if you have the cash for it, right? But listen, man, at some point in your life, whether you have as much money as you do or not, you need to build up some form of credit, because if you don't, guys, then you will be declined for any home purchase, car loan, or whatever type of loan you want to get. You will be 100% declined from getting any of these things just because you don't have a history. Now, get this, guys. Even though you have no history and you have the money to pay for certain things, but you have no credit history whatsoever, and someone else out there has a credit history, but they've been missing out on payments they max out their credit cards. You know, they just ruin their credit score in every single way possible. That person right there has a higher chance of getting out a loan than you do with no credit score, simply because they have some form of credit history, okay guys? So please do keep that in mind for those of you who have not built up your credit score whatsoever, okay? It's extremely important. And if you're as young as I am, in your mid-20s, early 20s, whatever age, then you already have a huge giant step against anyone else in order to build up your credit score, okay? Especially if you're watching this video right now, there's no excuse to not build a credit score, okay? So please go apply for a credit card if you have not already. And if you suck at managing your money with credit cards, then don't even use it. Just apply for it, open it, throw it in the trash or something, or hide it under your mattress or wherever you want to hide it. Don't use it, but just leave it open, okay guys? It's better than having nothing at all. But anyways guys, hopefully this video brought you some great value, and hopefully you learned something new about not ruining your credit score, and hopefully it prevents you from making any of these mistakes, okay? Because again guys, your credit score is one of the most important things in the world that you can build up, and the earlier that you can build it, the better, okay? But as always guys, you already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't and whatnot. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video guys. And as always guys, I do appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright guys, peace.